Imagine this. You're 24 years old. You just got your first real paycheck. And for the first time in your life, after rent, after groceries, after everything, you have $200 left over. $200 that doesn't have a job yet. So you do what everyone tells you to do. You open an investing app. You buy your first stock. Maybe it's Apple. Maybe it's Tesla. Maybe it's something you saw trending on TikTok. And then you watch it every day, refreshing up 3%, down 7%, down 12%. And one morning you wake up and that $200 is $140. And something in your brain says, this isn't for me. Investing is for rich people. I'll start when I have more money. And just like that, you quit. Be honest with yourself. Because that exact moment, that $60 loss that felt like failure, is the moment 99% of people exit the game permanently. Not because investing didn't work, because nobody told them what level they were on. Stakes. Here's what that quit actually costs you. If you had stayed in and kept investing just $200 a month from age 24, historically you'd have over $900,000 by retirement. That quit, that one moment of panic over $60 has a price tag of nearly $1 million. But it's worse than that. Because every year you're not invested, inflation is quietly eating your money alive. Right now, money sitting in a standard checking account loses roughly 3% of its purchasing power every single year. You're not breaking even by doing nothing. You're losing slowly, silently, automatically. The people who build real wealth don't have a secret stock. They don't have a better app. They have one thing you don't yet, a map of the levels. They know exactly where they are, what the level requires, and why quitting at level 2 is the most expensive mistake a young person can make. That map is this video. So whether you've never bought a single stock in your life, or you've been investing for years and feel like you're stuck, this video is for you. In the next 12 minutes, I'm breaking down all 7 levels of investing, what each level looks like, exactly what you need to do to pass it, the specific mistake that kills most people at that level, and what unlocks the next one. I'll tell you what to buy, when to buy it, and what to completely ignore at each stage. This is Visual Wealth. And this is the video I wish existed when I started. Don't skip levels. Watch till the end, hit subscribe, and comment which level you're currently on. I read every single one. Level 1, the awakening. Level 1 isn't even really about investing yet. It's about the moment you realize that trading time for money forever is a losing game. Most people never even reach level 1. They go their entire lives spending everything they earn, assuming that working harder is the only path forward. The system is designed to keep them there. Ads convincing them to upgrade their lifestyle every time their income rises. Credit cards making it effortless to spend money they haven't earned yet. Social media making everyone around them look wealthier than they actually are. Level 1 is the crack in that illusion. Maybe you read something, watched a video, saw your parents struggle in retirement and decided that wouldn't be you. Whatever the trigger, something shifted. And you started asking a question most people never ask: what if my money could work instead of just me? That question is worth more than any stock tip. But here's the mistake that kills people at level 1 before they even begin. They get excited, they go down a rabbit hole, and they get completely paralyzed by information overload. Crypto or stocks, index funds or real estate, Roth IRA or 401k. They spend 6 months researching and never actually do anything. The only way to pass level 1 is to stop consuming and start with one single action. Open an account. That's it. Not fund it yet. Not buy anything yet. Just open the account. Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard, pick one and open a Roth IRA today. The act of doing something real breaks the paralysis. And level 2, the first buy. This is it. The level the title is talking about, and it deserves the most attention because the graveyard of potential investors lives here. Level 2 is your first real purchase, and everything about the experience is designed unintentionally to make you quit. Here's what typically happens. You fund your account with a small amount, somewhere between $50 and $500. You spend way too long picking a stock because it feels like a huge decision. You buy it. And then the market does what the market always does in the short term. It moves randomly. Your stock drops, maybe 5%, maybe 20%, and your brain, which is wired to feel losses twice as intensely as gains, screams at you to get out and stop the bleeding. This is called loss aversion. It's not a character flaw. It's human biology, and it destroys more investing careers than any market crash in history. The people who pass level 2 are not smarter. They are not braver. They simply understood one thing: going in short-term price movement is noise. It means nothing. The stock market has dropped significantly in virtually every decade of its existence and still returned an average of around 10% annually over the long run. Every single time people panicked and sold, they locked in a loss that time would have erased. Here's exactly what to buy at level 2 so that the noise doesn't shake you out. Not individual stocks, not crypto. One index fund, VOTE, which tracks the S&P 500, or VTI, which tracks the entire US market. Set up automatic monthly contributions even if it's $50, and then do the hardest thing in investing: nothing. Don't check it every day. Set it and forget it for 90 days minimum. The investors who reach level 3 are simply the ones who survived level 2 without making an emotional decision. Level 3, the understanding. Most people who make it to level 3 have been investing for 6 to 18 months. They've survived their first dip. They've kept contributing. And now something interesting happens. They start getting curious instead of anxious. Level 3 is where you stop blindly putting money into things and start genuinely understanding what you own and why. This is where you learn the difference between an index fund and an actively managed fund, and why the data overwhelmingly favors index funds over the long run. You learn what an expense ratio is and why a fund charging 1% annually is quietly stealing tens of thousands of dollars from your future compared to one charging a 0.03%. You learn the difference between a Roth IRA, where you pay taxes now and never again, and a traditional IRA, where you defer taxes until retirement. You understand your 401k match at work and why not maxing it out is leaving free money on the table. None of this is complicated, but most people never learn it because the financial industry profits from your confusion. Complexity is a product they sell you. The mistake that kills people at level 3 is getting overconfident. They learn enough to feel dangerous. They start picking individual stocks. They think they've spotted the next big thing. They load up on a single company or sector and watch it collapse. The rule at level 3 is simple. Knowledge should make your strategy simpler, not more complicated. The more you learn about investing, the more you realize how powerful boring actually is. Level 4, the optimization. You've been investing consistently. You understand what you own. Now level 4 is about making the system as efficient as possible, because at this stage, an optimization is worth more than almost any individual investment decision. The first optimization is taxes. This is where most young investors leave serious money on the table. Using tax-advantaged accounts to their full potential, maxing your Roth IRA at $7,000 per year, contributing enough to your 401k to capture the full employer match, can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime, compared to investing the same money in a regular taxable account. It's not exciting, it's not a hot tip, it's the single most impactful financial move most people under 30 can make. The second optimization is automation. Every dollar that has to be manually moved is a dollar subject to temptation, hesitation, and delay. Set up automatic transfers on payday so the money moves before you can spend it. Pay yourself first is not just a saying, it's a structural decision that removes willpower from the equation entirely. The third optimization is fees. And go through every account you own and check the expense ratios of every fund. If anything is above 0.20%, ask whether you could get the same exposure in a cheaper fund. The difference between a 1% fee and a 0.03% fee on a $100,000 portfolio over 30 years is over $200,000. That's not a rounding error. That's a car. That's a down payment. That's years of retirement. The mistake at level 4 is mistaking complexity for optimization. Adding more accounts, more funds, more strategies doesn't mean you're doing more. Often it means you're doing less. The optimized portfolio for most people under 30 is genuinely 3 funds or fewer. Level 5, the expansion. Level 5 is where investing starts to look different from person to person, because this is where you begin expanding beyond index funds into other asset classes. And this is also where the most dangerous advice on the internet lives. Let's talk about what expansion actually means. For most people reaching level 5, their index fund portfolio is growing steadily. Their tax-advantaged accounts are being maxed, and now they have additional capital that they want to put to work in other ways. Real estate is the most common expansion. House hacking, buying a small multi-unit property, living in one unit, and having tenants pay your mortgage is one of the most powerful wealth-building strategies available to people in their 20s. It's not passive, it's not simple, but the combination of rental income, mortgage paydown, appreciation, and tax benefits makes real estate uniquely powerful in a way stocks cannot replicate. The second expansion that makes sense for many people at this level is investing in yourself. A course, a certification, a skill that increases your earning power by $10,000 a year is a better return on investment than almost anything the stock market offers. A $2,000 course that gets you a $15,000 raise is a 650% return in year 1. The third expansion, and the one requiring the most caution, is individual stocks and alternative assets. If you choose to pick individual stocks at level 5, treat it as a small speculative portion of your portfolio. 5 to 10% maximum. Money you can afford to lose entirely. Because the data is overwhelming, over a 15-year period, over 90% of actively managed funds underperform simple index funds. Professional fund managers with teams of analysts and billions of dollars cannot consistently beat the market. The idea that you will is not humility, it's a trap. Level 6, the income shift. This is the level people post about. The screenshot of the dividend notification. The rental deposit hitting the account. The moment your portfolio generates more in a month than your paycheck does. But here's what those posts don't show you: the years of level 2 through 5 that made it possible. Level 6 is the income shift. It's when your investments stop being just a number growing on a screen and start being a source of real, spendable income. Dividends from stocks and ETFs, rental income from property, interest from bonds, revenue from a digital asset you built. At this level, the conversation shifts from how much am I saving to how much is my money earning. You start thinking in yield. A $200,000 portfolio in a dividend-focused ETF yielding 4% annually generates $8,000 a year, $67 a month in passive income. That's not retirement money yet, but it's a car payment, it's groceries, it's real. The concept to understand at level 6 is the 4% rule. Research suggests that a portfolio can sustain a 4% annual withdrawal indefinitely without running out of money, assuming historical average returns. That means financial independence, the point where your investments fully cover your living expenses, requires a portfolio of roughly 25 times your annual expenses. If you need $40,000 a year to live, your target number is $1,000. The mistake at level 6 is chasing yield. High dividend stocks and REITs that promise 10 or 12% yields often do so at the cost of growth, stability, or both. A 12% yield means nothing if the asset drops 30% in value. Total return, growth plus income, is always the right metric. Level 7, the legacy. Most people reading about level 7 won't be here yet. That's okay. Understanding where the road leads changes how you walk the early stages. Level 7 is not just about having a lot of money. Plenty of people with a lot of money are not at level 7. Level 7 is about intentionality, knowing exactly what your wealth is for, who it serves beyond yourself, and how it continues working after you're gone. This looks different for everyone. For some, it's generational wealth, deliberately structuring assets, trusts, and education so that children and grandchildren start life on a different foundation than you did. For others, it's a charitable foundation or donor-advised fund directing investment returns toward causes that matter. For others, it's building a business or institution that creates jobs, solves problems, and generates value in the community long after you step back. But level 7 also has a practical, near-term component that most people ignore. Estate planning, a will. Beneficiary designations on every account. A basic trust if your net worth warrants it. Life insurance if people depend on your income. Powers of attorney. These are not morbid topics. And they are the difference between your assets going exactly where you intended and the government or courts deciding for you. The mistake at level 7, and it's the saddest one on this list, is waiting until you feel wealthy enough to think about this. You can write a will today with $500 in assets. And the habit of intentionality is built long before the wealth arrives. The investors who reach level 7 didn't suddenly become different people when their net worth hit a certain number. And they were building that intentionality since level 1. If you've watched until here, you now have something most people who call themselves investors don't have: the full picture. Here's the map one more time. Level 1, the awakening. Realize the game exists and open an account. Level 2, the first buy. Survive the noise and don't quit over short-term loss. Level 3, the understanding. Learn what you own and why boring wins. Level 4, the optimization. Automate, minimize fees, maximize tax advantages. Level 5, the expansion. Grow beyond index funds with discipline and caution. Level 6, the income shift. Watch your money earn more than you work for. Level 7, the legacy. Build something intentional that outlives you. You don't have to be at level 7 today. You just have to know which level you're on and what it actually takes to move to the next one. So, comment below. What level are you at right now? No judgment. Level 1 is a better answer than no level at all. Share this with one person who quit investing and never restarted. This might be the video that changes that. And if you want to go deeper on any of these levels, I have full breakdowns on index funds, Roth IRAs, real estate, house hacking, and dividend investing right here on Visual Wealth. Watch this next.